Alright, welcome back ladies and gentlemen to the Chupacabra's Lair. I'm your host Larry, and we're here for some Lies of P, which I think means Pinocchio. I'm pretty sure that's what this game is more or less about.
Geppetto's puppet. We need your help.
Okay, so I don't know a ton about this game. Like, I had some of the stories spoiled to me on YouTube Shorts, but for the most part, I know that we're like an automaton or like a puppet like Pinocchio.
I've been looking all
Whether or not we are Pinocchio seems to be the question, and I guess it's not necessarily always clear in this game if we are or not. But we're definitely one of Geppetto's creations.
I see they got Jiminy too. But we have to hurry. My name is Sophia. Please come to Hotel Crot, and I'll explain what's happening. Jiminy, please escort him to the hotel.
So that's how we use our utility belt. Good to know. So I guess we do still get our Jiminy Cricket companion, which is, I guess, some sort of robotic AI. The weird butterfly's name is Sophia, and she wants to meet us at a hotel.
Get you out of there. Find something to
Seems simple enough. I dicked around with this a little bit beforehand, and I know that I can fist things with control. To use my left arm of steel.
But the streets are not safe. It'll be helpful.
I tried the medium balance weapon before. It was okay. I definitely didn't like the strength weapon because it's way too slow and chunky. This time we're going to try the fast dexterity weapon and see what it does.
Destination Hotel Crot. Recommend escaping from this location.
Oh, okay, so it's got like a quick backstab retreat ability. I like that, actually. I like that a lot. Okay, so this is one of those games. It's one of those words that people hate to hear a lot of the times. This is a Souls-like game where you fight things, and it's very specific in how it wants you to do things. And dodge and parry, or else you die, which is fine. It's not something I'm entirely unused to in a lot of games. So the other things that we kind of understand right now is that there's some type of robotic uprising going on. And a lot of people are dead. And we gotta try to stop whatever this is. It seems that all of the creatures around here are powered by that blue light stuff you can kind of see on a corpse over there. Called Ergo. And despite the it only really shows up here, whatever this weird substance is, probably evil profane magic. And well, the robots went crazy and started killing everybody. I'm getting the vibe that almost everybody in this universe is grown dependent, well, not maybe not this universe, but this city has grown a bit dependent on these robots to function. So we've got a big scary almost police officer like robot in here who's just casually fisting a corpse into a delicious gelatin pulp. And we are here for the grand exhibition in Krat. So this is a pulse cell, that's how we heal. It recharges slowly as we kill people if it runs out of juice. How well does the block mechanic work for the rapier or like whatever this weapon is? Not great. Like, we lost a lot of health to that. I'm guessing the downside to certain weapons is that you lose more or less health when you deflect with them. Which, it is what it is. That's about all I can really say. I wasn't super happy with any of the starting weapons, but that could just be a starting weapon thing. More than a game mechanics thing. We can dodge a little bit with roll. They see me rolling, they hating. So we're just gonna try to progress a little bit in here. This is where the game tells me how important it is to block. But yeah, we're gonna progress in here pretty quickly. And try to get to the first checkpoint. And I'm gonna decide somewhere between here and there how I feel about this game. And if I want to proceed any further into it. I'm not always super excitable when it comes to a lot of Soulsian-inspired games. Just kind of in general. I think the last one I really particularly cared for was Elden Ring. And Elden Ring, I really only liked Elden Ring because there was a lot of abilities in Elden Ring that for ranged attackers that really broke the mechanics of the game itself and was really a pain in the ass for PvPers. So, I liked breaking that. It was quite enjoyable. As to this game, the dodging is okay, I guess. It's just rolling. But they do require you to do a lot of parrying, and I remember doing a lot of that in Sekiro. And I sucked at that, so mileage may vary. Like, anytime you have to perfectly parry as a base mechanic is when games like this kind of fall apart for me. I also can't overkill enemies to get back all of my health. So because I'm running around with the dexterity weapon, I'm kind of at a disadvantage for repairing myself. Passenger's note. If anyone finds this note, get out of the station and run. Be sure to steer clear of the waiting room. I saw a huge puppet smashing people to death in there. I locked the door, but I don't know if that'll work. Or at least I should stop people from randomly coming in. I'm going to die soon, so I wanted to help even if it's not much. Please survive, anyone. Oh, that's very nice. I don't know, like, the thing with horror games and notes is sort of like such a done thing anymore, too. I don't always know how I feel about that either. Because, like, part of the reason why indie developers use a lot of things like found diary pages and notes is because they're indie developers. They don't have a huge budget. But, you know, bigger development teams, they don't have that same problem. I'm not actually sure how big the development team is for Liza P. So I'm not gonna, like, talk smack on them immediately. Like, voice audio logs in an apocalypse when people are dead and maybe they like to take memo notes on their phone is fine. I use the text, or the voice-to-text feature on my phone frequently. Because it's faster than typing with my chunky thumbs. So, like, maybe we're just in a universe where that's just a thing people like to do. I'm not going to necessarily bash it. Right before I then bash it or something. So, this is basically just your typical wraparound. So if I die, we can come back. That may or may not happen. I tried this guy with the big heavy weapon and I wasn't super keen on it. Because it's slow and his attacks, despite having a giant mace, are quite fast. Also, there's not a lot of leeway on the dodging in this either. Like, if you're not perfect with it, you're kind of boned. Alright, let's see if I can bait out your attack so I can do one of these. Yeah, the invincibility frames, this is the moment when you kind of realize that invincibility frames in other games are super duper important. Ooh, fatal attack. Fatal attacks face a staggered enemy and then click. Okay. Oh, well, that was certainly something I didn't get prompted with before. But I also didn't get a chance to utilize that fancy, like, attack stuff. So, now I know. And that's a portion of the battle I didn't before. So whatever that ergo proxy attack was that I got when I pressed F was super-de-duper fancy. I've encountered, like, the term ergo in a few other places in fantasy-esque mechanical universes, and I'm wondering if that has a greater meaning than I'm aware of. Like, I've seen the anime ergo proxy. There was a Victorian horror that I read about witches that were working with the aristocracy to, like, give them power during a civil war called ergo. Maybe that's just happenstance, I don't know. Okay, so things are going well. Getting those Bloodborne vibes here with all of the abandoned furniture and dead horses. Also, these are the smallest horses I've seen in a while. So I guess those are probably carriage ponies. And I say that as a guy who, you know, lives and works with Andalusian horses on the regular, so. The Stargazer! This is a checkpoint. Cool, got it. Let's checkpoint me.
This is called a stargazer. A marvelous device the stalkers used in the past.
Who are the Stalkers?
Puppet threshold exceeds danger estimates. Please reduce puppet numbers or reset danger parameters.
As we are not strong enough to beat the puppets. But if I lend my power to this stargazer for a moment, gather ergo, clever one. This stargazer will make you stronger. But the stargazer...
Who are the ancient Stalkers, though? Like, are we like a prototype Murdertron for the state? Like, what are we? Okay, well, I'm fine with that. Let's level up. I already can kind of see a problem here. What is capacity? What is legion? What is that? Let me Google this. Oh, it's your Legion arm, so it's your mechanical arm like thing. Okay, so it's how much juice that thing stores, which is apparently not super important. So our stats primarily revolve around technique, I guess. Weapon 1 levels capacity in motivity in D, and technique is B quality, and then advance is... So this is strength, this is dex, and I have no idea what advance is. Let's put a little bit into technique, let's put a little bit into vitality, and that should do her. Yeah. Sufficient. I don't necessarily know that I'm going to be playing a lot of this, but whatever. It's a stat, I'm sure it'll be fine. I guess this is probably like every other Souls game where every time I touch a Stargazer, everything resets. And then we gotta worry about which one of these dead bodies is not like the other one. One of these things is a robot. Oh, and that's a robot dog. I don't like that even less. What is it with people... you know, it's always great when you're making like a side clone of a game in a genre when immediately not only do you take some of the basic enemies, but there's also the good old-fashioned Bloodborne dogs. The dogs that have been with us in From Software games since the beginning. Since Demon Souls. Alright, there's a dog there, and there's a guy over here, and I'm guessing that's also, yeah, that's also an automaton. I would really love a gun, but I don't think I'm gonna get that. So, there you go. At least the fisting tends to be a lot of damage. Maybe I should have fisted that bigger robot more. That probably would have been a good idea. There wasn't really a difficulty slider on this game either. I don't know that that's necessarily going to come into play much, but whatever. It's also really difficult with this really heavy sound of rain to tell when things are going to try to come kill me. Well, at least with the faster attack rate, I don't have as much of a concern when it comes to things sneaking up on me, because I can stagger all of these early stage enemies really easily. Krat Times, issue 183. The Krat Grand Exhibition has been delayed. This decision was made to protect the citizens until the puppet frenzy that has recently paralyzed the city is under control. Oh, so this is an ongoing problem. They even had time to publish a newspaper about it. The occurrence began on Rosa Isabella Street, resulting in hundreds of casualties. While the cause is still unknown, the number of casualties and the scale of damage are both growing. As the crisis dragged on, the workshop and Venani Company, Krat's largest puppet factory, announced that they would offer emergency supplies to citizens and do everything they could to alleviate the situation. A task force is investigating the possibility of a fatal loss of the Grand Covenant, which is the control protocol of the workshop's puppets. However, there is no quick solution as of now, with the puppet frenzy resulting in more casualties, as the city braces for a resurgence of petrification disease. Oh, there's a disease, too. The citizens were advised to stay indoors for their safety. However, many citizens are trying to escape through Krat Central Station, intensifying the general chaos. Okay, well, you know, things are going well, it seems. That's always good. Where's my timer? Just want to make sure I can see how long we're going. Oh, that's a robot. So, I'm curious how this stands on the general scale of, like, stuff that makes robots go insane, because these are more like magically reanimated automatons. These are kind of like clockwork puppets, very much like Pinocchio era. So you got really two demographics of stuff going insane. You've got the whole Skynet version where all the robots are Wi-Fi'd together, and they all generally decide to kill people at the same time. And then you've got the good old-fashioned now I have a soul version, which tends to revolve around well, one or more robots kind of figuring themselves out. Ow. And then, like, they themselves turn evil, but don't necessarily mean everything turns evil. And they talked about a central control node. And when they talk about a central control node, to me that says that somebody sabotaged the whole thing and made everybody go a little bit cuckoo. But hey, you know, whatever. I guess we're going this way. Oh, this guy's also got a gun. So this is looking like a wraparound that we can't open from this side, can we? No. Okay. So we are an automaton made by Geppetto. I don't necessarily know if we are Pinocchio. I'm also curious if Geppetto's the one that designed all these machines, or if he's... This could just be one of those situations of, like, dual development or co-development of technology. where multiple different companies end up kind of working towards and coalescing into the same direction. And Geppetto's just kind of an independent guy caught in the middle. That's a thing that can happen. I also don't necessarily know that Geppetto's even alive. This could be like way down the future. Geppetto's long dead. He's like the Victor Frankenstein grandfather of all this nonsense. And we're just kind of living in the ashes of his creation. Maybe he lived here. I don't necessarily know. I've always kind of liked the whole notion of like mad scientist created clockwork horrors and automatons. There's a certain level of refinement to that. Has a nice feel to it and all that jazz. And there's sort of a more Victorian-esque magic involved in giving it like a puppet life and a soul, as opposed to it just sort of develops it over time because advanced AI or something. Oh, this guy's got like a whole piece of like a car. Oh, and you have to perfectly time your block or else he'll whap you real good. Dodging seems to work just fine. I'm gonna dodge that fine, though. That's fine. Come on, buddy. Who's my buckaroo? Yes, you are. Oh, my arm's out of juice. Nope, nope. You don't need to inspect it if it's out of juice, Pinocchio. You can just kind of accept it. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, there's like an emergency broadcast. Oh, there's a phone next to me. That's probably why. Where you going, bud? Are you oh, so the enemies are tethered in this to a degree. There's also not really a sprint to run back up to enemies and stab them, which I don't like. I mean, that could have gone a lot worse, just the whole dodging the pants off of them thing. What's over here? The whole being next to the ocean thing doesn't always make me feel super comfortable. Because I feel like this railing isn't... Oh, so that's the hotel we're going to? Good to know. Wonder what the deal is with this lady who has ergo powers. Are we just dealing with black magic? Do we make like an evil pact with a witch and that's where the world we're living in now? We've also got stuff attacking from the other side. If the sounds in this are just weird enough that I'm having trouble necessarily telling if something's sneaking up on me like that. Can we sort out the shooty man? Or not. Or I could get killed by the silliest thing. Alright, well, that was kind of an okay look at the Lives of Pi, I guess. I mean, I'm not super in love with it. It's kind of janky and doesn't feel as smooth as I normally like in these types of games. But it's fine. If you like Souls games a lot and you'll play the pants off of any of them, maybe check this one out. If this video gets a lot of attention, I'll play more of this, but for right now, I'm just not super in love with this game. It's okay. It's got the vibe. It's got all the pieces. So if you're into it, grab it. If not, don't worry about it. So that'll be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. I've been your host, Larry. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!